Good day, YouTube. It's the day after Thanksgiving, 25th of November, 2022. What are we doing today? Well, we're doing today what we should have done yesterday, but I was busy setting up my new phone yesterday. I didn't have time, but every Thanksgiving weekend, I service all of my portable generators. In addition to this fleet of EU series Hondas that I own and maintain, I also have a Honda RV4000 built into step van, and a Kohler 7000 built into the bus. The Kohler I have just serviced very recently, a few months ago. Actually did a video on it, I believe. And the Honda's kind of out of service right now. That's in the step van. Still would function, but drain the fuel out of the generator, so I don't have to deal with it this weekend. But what we do have to deal with is getting this fleet serviced for the 2023 season and make sure it winters well. I am on a lot of forums on Facebook, a lot of small engine forums, Honda generator forums, small engine forums, blah, blah, blah. If you name it, I'm probably on it. And the one thing we see constantly is, I haven't used my generator in blah, blah months or a couple years or whatever, and I put a new spark plug in it and changed the air filter and put new gas in it, and it won't run without the choke on. Well, yeah, because you plugged the idle jet up because you've used pump gas in your generator and then you let it sit. Well, you are really risking if it sits more than about 6 months with regular pump gas with ethanol in it. So my generators get nothing but non-ethanol fuel. You can see my air table's coming up. I also change that fuel out every Thanksgiving weekend. So my season that I use my generators is in the summertime. I have a DJ business, and this runs sensitive electronic equipment, computers, amplifiers, mixer boards, etc., and amongst other things in camping and etc. there. But they only get non-ethanol fuel in them, and I change them out every November, and I service the generators that need service. I don't keep track of the hours or even write down the dates because I know I always do this in late November. But what I do is look at the oil, and if it's got significant color to it, my opinion needs to be changed, and we'll change the oil this weekend. So today's the day. I got 4 gas cans full of non-ethanol fuel, a couple 5-gallon cans that are full, and then a couple 2.5 gallon cans that are full. I got 1 can over here that is empty. And the little generators, I basically just flip them over upside down and dump the fuel out into that can. The fuel's perfectly good, and I'll dump that in my shop truck or something. It'll burn excellent, just fine. I also have this battery operated pump you might have seen on TV. I get it at a local Bi-Mart store. About anywhere you can get these things. They're only like $10-12, and they actually work pretty good. I know it works good on the EU7000. If any of you saw my original video when I first bought this, doesn't even have 1 hour on it yet. It's not been used, not even broke in. It is full of non-ethanol fuel. When I first got it, I put a couple gallons of avgas in it, and I was reminded by one of my subscribers, which I really appreciate, avgas still has lead in it, which I didn't know, and the fuel-injected engines should not have lead. So I used that pump to pump the gas out of that and put non-ethanol back in it. I'm hoping it works for this one too, because you got to be able to set it down through the cap. It'd be cool if it'd work for these, because actually the 2000s are a little heavy to flip over upside down, but it is what it is. I put significant hours, because when these generators run in the summertime, they run all day, 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that. But I kind of lose track on which ones I've used and which ones I haven't used. So I basically just look at them all. All of them are going to get the fuel dumped. All of them will get the oil checked and serviced if needed today. So one of the EU1000s I bought new. Two of them I bought used. One of them I paid $200 for because someone let it sit forever and it needed gone through. But they've all been excellent. One of the 2000s I bought new. I actually have the ability through the company I work for, who is a Honda partner in some states like Colorado. I'm in Oregon. And I was able to purchase through the company and got a pretty good deal. The other EU2000 I bought used in good working order. The EU3000 Handi IS, great generator, by the way. They make two, right? If you see my videos, we rehabbed an EU3000 IS, 150 pound generator, 75 pound generator. Very similar output, but smaller tank, no electric start, such like that. But I can pick that one up, I can load it. The other one I can't. It's just too heavy. And then the EU7000 is a recent purchase. Bought it like a year and a half ago, again through my company, and I got a pretty good deal. Those are retail like $5,300, so I got it better price than that. So anyway, it should just get the fuels changed out. The EU3000, I ran it for 1 day and a couple hours, so it might have 8 or 10 hours on it. Oil should be good, but we're going to look at it. Should just have to change the fuel. If the oil's got a little bit of color to it, we'll probably change it out. Again, it's nearly new machine. And then the rest of these, I'm not really sure. We're going to have to look. So let me get into it and start in on our every year, late November, Thanksgiving weekend generator service. I have a new phone, and it's positioned odd for me. Going up. There's a little bit of weight on that actually, with the big boy on it. Yeah. Going up slowly. Hey guys, this is pretty exciting here actually. So I put that pump, that little battery pump I just showed you. I've never tried it on a EU2000 or a 1000, but I'll be danged if it doesn't fit. So we'll be able to pump these out, which takes all the effort out of it. Again, this thing takes, if I remember right, like 2 flashlight batteries, the D cells or whatever they are. But you can see the fuel flow. The generators are a little heavy to hold upside down for 30 seconds while you dump all the fuel out of it. This is pretty cool. Glad I tried it. I do dig this pump too for transferring into my 2 fuel tanks in my 2 vehicles that have mounted generators in them. So I can take a 5-gallon jug out there and pump into the tank. So I'm finding more and more uses for this transfer pump. Might be it. Little switch up here. Anyway, had to show you. That's pretty cool if you've got one, or even if you don't. Like I say, they're $10 or $12, piece of cake. And I just keep finding more and more uses for it. But here was another use. And here we go on one of the EU1000s. Works just as good. All right, that's gonna cut time off my day today. Woohoo! I dribbled. I will continue. All right, last of the little generators anyway. Probably got about 2.5 gallons of fuel in here from these. They weren't all necessarily full. The little ones take 2 quarts, and the big ones take 4 quarts, I believe, or somewhere in that ballpark. So anyway, if they were all full, 3.5 gallons if they were all full. But we got probably a little over half the way this can is shaped, so 2.5 gallons, a little over. So anyway, I'm going to throw a spout on that and go dump this into my shop truck, and then we'll pump the fuel out of the EU3000 and then the EU7000, and then we'll check oil and start the refill process. So the pump's working on the EU3000 as well. Not sure if we're getting all the way to the bottom. It kind of feels like we are. I'm going to pick up the backside. I think we're there. Again, I had run this one like all day, like 8 hours or maybe even longer than that this year. It's the only use it got all year. But yeah, it's good. I haven't put more than 15 hours on this generator, maybe 20, since I got it, and it was almost unused when I got it. So it's good. I don't know why I put the cap on. We got some gas in it. All right. All right. And the other thing to note too is as I get these things filled up, we'll also put seafoam in all of it. So I keep a lot of it on shelf. Seafoam and Berryman. Berryman is probably as good as seafoam, but I believe seafoam is the best, and I will put the best in my machines. So my machines will get seafoam. That'll help them winter, and you know, some of these will sit a year. I'm sure a couple of these generators have not operated, haven't done any work. They may have fired up, but they haven't done any work all year. So the fuel that came out of it is fuel I put in it a year ago. So anyway, so let me check the oil in the EU3000. It's been a minute. Oh, on my other EU1000 I just looked at, one of the feet was gone, and I didn't know that. So I just ordered a new foot for it. It was $11 and $5 shipping, something to that effect. Tuck that rag down in there. Don't want to get any oil in the bottom if we don't have to. Oil looks really good. It's really full. All right. This one is ready for fuel. Very good. I just wanted to show you the that pump works on the EU3000, so we're going to be 100% being able to pump all the fuel out of everything. And again, we'll fill them up, we'll put some seafoam in them, and then we'll run them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Get them warm, get the fuel out of the carburetors and fuel line, and shut them off. Everybody has their own way of winterizing, if you will. I do it this way. Some of my generators are probably 13, 14 years old now, and yeah, I've never had to deal with them except for the used ones I bought who were in bad shape when I got them. Once I've cleaned them up, this works great. So I've never had an issue. The fuel stays in no longer than 1 year. If I never use the generator in that year, Again, it also has a little seafoam in it, which is just a little insurance, and if there was anything in the fuel system, it'll help clean it out, helps keep the carbon out of the cylinder and that kind of thing. So it's a maintenance deal, it's a winterization deal, it's all of the above. Do what you want to do. It's been 100% successful for me. I will continue to do it. I dedicate a whole day of my Thanksgiving weekend to doing this every year. It's just something I got to do. So I'll check back with you when I get a little bit farther along. All right, this is evidently the one I've used the most because it's only one that needs an oil change. Just a little bit of color in the oil, but would only do this once a year, so this is time to do it. This is how I do it. I pull out my top drawer, my toolbox, throw the generator on top. This is just a place where it's like a funnel that screws in with an O-ring, and you can add oil through this little funnel, or you can dump it out. I have another one, but I got to use this one anyway, so let's dump the oil out, shall we? Yep, definitely dark. Of course, I waited till I put fuel in it, because I'm not always that smart. And these things don't hold much. A fraction of a quart. I can't ever remember what it holds, but not a whole quart. Need a stick of some sort. Yeah, that'll work. Let's let that drain for a while, shall we? Alright, that's about got it drained. Meanwhile, I've got the EU7000, got the fuel pumping out of it. I got to be careful because I think it holds in the neighborhood of 5 gallons, and that's all the bigger the can is. So, alright. I think we've got this drained. We'll wipe out this funnel. There's what the rest of that looks like. We'll stand it up here for a minute. We'll put fresh oil in it. Of course, everybody's got their own opinions on what oil to use. I keep them changed. They never get real dirty. I use 1030 and everything. Now that these are all broke in, synthetic would be fine, but they usually have just a good 1030 on the shelf. Yeah. So that's what we'll use today. Chevron Supreme. We'll clean this up, put it back in. And we'll put some oil in. Alright, I put some oil in it. Let's we're gonna roll it back. We're gonna take the funnel out. And that's when we'll double check our oil level. We want it to just come out of the hole. We're right there. Right where we should be. Come on. Place for that. Put the cap back on. Nice and tight. Notice I always fold up a rag and put it in here. It just helps any oil that might spill out to soak up in the rag and not fall down in the bottom of the generator. It's not like it's a huge deal, but I like to keep these things really clean. And I carry them in my van, and it's, you know, it's carpeted and whatever. If there's oil down here, it's gonna eventually come out. So we'll keep that clean. So this has its oil change, it has got its fuel, everything's got its seafoam, and it's the only one that really needed changed. I usually start off the year with one generator. Halfway through the year I switch to another, but I really haven't recovered from the COVID thing yet, and so I'm not doing as many shows as I used to do, so I never did swap a generator out for another one. I basically just ran this one all year. So anyway, she's done. All right, I got the fuel out of the big dog, and now we just got to fuel it up. Again, it has less than an hour on it. It's just been run a few times. So all right, let's get this one done. All right, we got all the generators serviced that need serviced. We got all the old fuel pumped out of everything. It was all non-ethanol. It would have been fine, but some of these generators didn't get fueled since we fueled them a year ago. That's long enough for gas to be in these. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I change them out every November, whether it needs it or not. It's not like I have to throw the fuel away. I have plenty of vehicles around here that take gasoline. So pumped out all the old fuel, dumped it in daily drivers, and we are ready to start firing these up. I wanted to fire up the EU7000 on the My Honda app because it's a Bluetooth machine, but I can't figure out how to do it and film at the same time. So we will just do it other than on the app. So I'm going to pause you. I'm going to open up the door. It's about 39 degrees out, so I'm going to lose all my heat. But we got to run them for 5-10 minutes, warm them up a bit, and we're just burning off the fuel that's in the carburetors and the fuel line and all that stuff, so that all the fresh fuel is present in the carb. So you're going on hold for a sec. Let's get them all running. All right, gang, they're all running. 3,000 running. 2,000 running. 2,000 running. 7,000 running. 0 hours. 1,000 running, another 1,000 running, and the third 1,000 running. So if we add that up, 10, 14, 17 kW. And I'm losing all my heat in a shot. Door wide open. Alright, guys and gals, appreciate you hanging out. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. All my generators are now serviced for the year, so we'll see you back in November 23 and we'll do them all again. We'll see if the fleet has changed any, because the EU7000 is new for 22 to me, for my fleet anyway. And I did notice one of my 2000s also missing a foot. What happens is I drag them across the floor in the mystery machine, and it's carpeted, and it grabs them. So anyway, we ordered a set of feet, so I have spares. Guys, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing. Thumbs up on the way out the door. We'll catch you on the next video.